The A-10 Warthog, the last of its kind, and what comes after. For decades, the U.S. Air Force has asked itself the same uncomfortable question. Is it finally time to retire the A-10? And for decades, the answer kept coming back the same: not yet. But today, that question carries a different weight. This is no longer a debate about airframe age, maintenance costs, or modernization programs. It is a debate about something much larger: whether the very idea of a dedicated close air support aircraft still makes sense in modern warfare. To understand where this is going, we need to start at the beginning. Built for one battlefield. The aircraft we know as the Warthog, officially the Fairchild Republic A-10 Thunderbolt II, was born from a very specific fear. During the Cold War, NATO planners believed the first major clash with Soviet forces would erupt in one critical corridor in Germany, the Fulda Gap, a narrow strip of land that would funnel Soviet armored divisions straight toward Frankfurt and the Rhine River. If that corridor fell, Western Europe would be at risk. To counter this, the United States developed a doctrine called air-land battle, a strategy that fused air and ground forces into one integrated combat system. Heavy bombers would strike deep supply lines, ground troops would hold the front, and hovering directly above those troops would be a brutal, low-flying tank killer. That tank killer became the A-10. It was not designed for speed. It was not designed for elegance. It was designed to survive punishment and destroy armored formations at close range. The aircraft built around a gun. Unlike most aircraft, which are designed first and armed later, the A-10 was engineered around a single weapon, GAU-8 Avenger. This 30mm, 7-barrel rotary cannon is nearly 6 meters long. It carries roughly 1,150 rounds. Its recoil force is so immense it nearly equals the thrust of one of the aircraft's engines. The ammunition includes depleted uranium armor-piercing rounds, dense, self-sharpening projectiles capable of tearing through Soviet tank armor. The gun was not an attachment, it was the centerpiece. Everything else, the fuselage shape, the centerline alignment, the landing gear geometry, was built to accommodate it. The armored vehicle that flies. But firepower alone does not win close air support missions. Survivability does. The A-10's pilot sits inside a titanium bathtub capable of withstanding direct hits from 23mm armor-piercing rounds. The canopy is ballistic glass. The fuel tanks are self-sealing and filled with fire-suppressing foam. Critical systems are duplicated: dual hydraulics, manual reversion, redundant control lines. If one engine fails, the other keeps flying. If hydraulics fail, manual reversion can bring it home. If landing gear systems fail, it can belly land with reduced damage. Even the engines are mounted high and spaced apart, minimizing heat signature from ground-based infrared missiles and reducing debris from forward rough airstrips. This was an aircraft designed to take hits and keep fighting. A bond with the infantry. Though built for a European armored war that never came, the A-10 found its proving grounds elsewhere: Iraq, Afghanistan, and anti-ISIS operations. In these lower to medium intensity conflicts, where advanced air defenses were limited, the Warthog thrived. It could loiter overhead for hours. It could respond within minutes to troops in contact. It could deliver devastating cannon fire or heavy ordnance with surgical precision. For infantry units pinned down under fire, the sound of the GAU-8 was more than noise. It was reassurance. Few aircraft in history have forged such a direct emotional bond with ground forces. But that bond was formed in a specific type of war, and war has changed. The modern battlefield problem. Today's battlefield looks very different from the fold-a-gap planners envisioned. Even relatively modest militaries now deploy layered air defenses, short-range radar networks, electro-optical tracking systems, thermal imaging, man-pads, mobile fire teams, electronic warfare, networked targeting. In this environment, flying low and slow, the A-10's signature tactic, becomes dangerously vulnerable. Its greatest strength has become its greatest liability. The debate over retirement is no longer about whether the aircraft is effective. It is about whether the concept of a dedicated, slow-flying CAS platform can survive in an era of dense, integrated air defense systems. The F-35 Lightning II. The modern replacement often cited is the F-35 Lightning II, but this aircraft comes from an entirely different design philosophy. The F-35 was built for stealth penetration, precision strike, and rapid disengagement. It avoids threats rather than absorbing them. It operates as part of a networked battle space, sharing sensor data across platforms. Can it perform close air support? Yes. Is it optimized for hovering low over troops while absorbing ground fire? No. It is also vastly more expensive to operate for routine sorties, a significant factor in missions that often require persistent presence. Comparing the A-10 and F-35 directly misses the point. They were built for different wars. The A-10 was built to survive being shot at. The F-35 is built to avoid being shot at altogether. The armed overwatch. There have been attempts to fill the lower-end gap with aircraft like the L-3 Harris OA-1K Sky Raider II. It's a rugged, militarized turboprop capable of ISR and light strike missions. It is inexpensive, durable, and capable of operating from austere runways. In Afghanistan-style conflicts, it works well. In a contested European or Pacific battle space filled with advanced air defenses, its survivability would be severely tested. It solves yesterday's problem. It does not solve tomorrow's. The real successor is a system, not a plane. If there is an A-10 replacement emerging, it is not a single aircraft. It is an ecosystem. The U.S. Air Force is heavily investing in collaborative combat aircraft, unmanned systems designed to operate alongside manned fighters. Among the candidates, Kratos XQ-58 Valkyrie, Boeing MQ-28 Ghostbat, and YFQ-44 Fury. These drones distribute roles once concentrated in a single aircraft: reconnaissance, strike, electronic warfare, decoy operations, all modular, scalable, and, in many cases, attritable. Instead of one armored aircraft absorbing risk, risk is spread across multiple lower-cost autonomous platforms. The manned fighter becomes the command node. The drones become the distributed strike force. That is a doctrinal shift. Loitering munitions, CAS at the battalion level. Even more disruptive are systems like the Switchblade 600. Loitering munitions effectively turn close air support into flying artillery. They can be deployed at the battalion or even company level, hovering until a target appears. This pushes CAS downward, decentralizing it. The battlefield is becoming a web of satellites, ISR drones, loitering munitions, stealth fighters, and AI-assisted targeting networks. The A-10 once embodied CAS in one armored fuselage. Now CAS is becoming an algorithmic distributed architecture. The end of an era. The A-10 is not being retired because it failed. It is being retired because it succeeded perfectly at a mission shaped by 1970s doctrine. It represents the last great dedicated attack aircraft of the classic era. A time when battlefield victory was determined by armored survivability, visible firepower, and pilots flying directly into danger. The future does not reward visibility. It rewards connectivity. It rewards stealth. It rewards autonomy. The next generation of close air support will not be defined by a single aircraft with a massive cannon. It will be defined by networks. And that marks the quiet end of the Warthog's world and the beginning of something fundamentally different. Thank you for sticking to the end. If you've enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe to the channel and drop your thoughts in the comments section below.